the video, they notice that it always shows up at the bottom? Or is it just that's where it links?
So that is when we get into embedding our own videos. See this video here? This is an embedded video. If you just create in Schoology, no, it will just sit at the bottom of the page. If you just build in Schoology. If you get into some advanced things like recording a video on YouTube, then you can embed that video.
Okay, and then I'm not sure if I understand this, but Bonita, hold on. Bonita Abrams says, can you insert this link of Wit and Wisdom into a Google slide?
I don't know what you mean by
I don't know.
This link. Have them type it in the chat though. We don't want to unmute with 200 participants.
Right.
So type any clarification you have in there. This is built into Schoology, so this is a Schoology template. If you'll notice at the top, every time, like, do you see that this says Schoology Page and then there's a URL code here, okay? So this is the website address. If I click on the next one, you'll notice this number, watch. It changed. So every page in your Schoology templates is a separate link. So let's say in module 0 that you want them on this page to go to this part of Schoology, you can link to that. I'm guessing on answering that question.
And you have another question that says,
sure.
When we are live teaching online, we are supposed to be presenting this on Schoology. Are we supposed to be present this on Schoology to the kids? Why do we have to retype all of this information when we have InSync? It has everything already planned for us.
Okay, there were quite a few questions in that one question, but let's be clear. So InSync was not working for everyone in our district. We will launch it as soon as it is. If it is working for you and you want to use that, then, you know, I would only caution you, because until our English Language Arts manager says that InSync is working and ready, right now we are using our Wit and Wisdom teacher guides and our Schoology templates. When InSync is working, that's actually going to be embedded into the Schoology templates as well. But we can't rely on that right now. It's not, the product was not delivered to us ready to go. And so we are using what we do have ready, which is our teacher guides and our Schoology lessons and templates. If you have this slide deck, no one is telling you that you have to retype it. As a matter of fact, what I did say is you can go in here and just, if you wanted to, you could delete all this content and you could just insert your slides. You have the choice and the freedom to do that. Actually, that was a big part of what April, I don't know if she's still on this call, shared, is we're not building out Module 0 because so many of you already have resources you used. But we do need to provide a context for all of this Wit and Wisdom content for our parents who are supporting their students learning at home remote. This is even helpful moving forward when we are back face-to-face, because if a child is absent, it can be, here is the link to what we worked on today. You can copy that and send it. So we are trying to provide context for our content. Our Wit and Wisdom is our tools. As teachers, we know how to teach it, but families at home supporting their students, they need more support. So we framed it for them. So remember, these are called model lesson frameworks, and right now we're working in the templates. I hope that helps clarify. I saw somebody say that they have the same question as Andrea. Oh, I see Karen is in here. Yeah. And Karen, we actually adjusted the agenda, and we're only looking at the template and pulling in their custom links right now. All right, here's a question from Andrea. When we are live teaching online, we are supposed to be presenting this on Schoology to the kids. Oh, that's the one I just answered. Okay. So if Karen is still on the line, if you could answer about the InSync, but right now we do not have reliable access to that. Okay, I've answered Kelly's question. The Schoology videos do hang out at the bottom if you just record them in Schoology. If you record your own, you can embed it anywhere. I'm not sure what this is. a limited number of videos. If you record on YouTube, you don't have any kind of limits. Module 0 slides. So I don't have module 0 slides. I was told that you guys had them from last year. The session was for returning teachers. You guys created your module 0. So I used the example that April shared with me.
And if they can get with other teachers who've already in their grade band to see who's created Mod Zero and may be able to share so they can import things into Schoology without recreating the wheel.
Yeah, and maybe if you did like you, so you're a returning teacher, but you're teaching, you've got a new grade level this year, absolutely get with your team so that you're not doing that. But the intended audience of this was for teachers who are returning, and our module 0, we were supposed to be using the one we used last year. I tried uploading my Google Doc Word wall and it showed up sideways. So you can copy Google Doc tables and content into Schoology. I can show this maybe with the beginning of the agenda. Let me share. This is a really long document. One moment. I don't necessarily want all of this to copy over, but I'll demonstrate that.
Well, also, when I was doing my introduction of myself and I was posting pictures of my family, they get turned sideways too.
So I'm copying out of this Google Doc right now. And I'll just paste it in here. So do you see it just paste in? If I don't know about like why yours is sideways. I can't really answer that exactly. But when I copy from Google, whoops, I deleted too much. When I copy from Google, it does, especially tables and things like that, it copies over fairly close. I would check everything. You'll notice that my image went to the top, so I just deleted that for now. But when I copied from Google and I hit save, it is in here. It's not sideways. I don't like the spacing copied from Google. I prefer to type right into Schoology. But the other thing that you could do is you can always link to it. So again, let me grab that link. So similar to how I did with the PowerPoint, I can just put the link on here as well. Link to, and then whatever the name of document. So this is definitely not what I would create for Wit and Wisdom. I just grabbed a document I had handy. So right here, I've got the link to the Google Slides, or I attached the PowerPoint. Nobody's asking you to recreate it as Google. You can just attach a PowerPoint. I added a video here, or in the next one, I copied and pasted from Google. I personally would go in and clean up these extra spaces. But that's how you could attach or copy that comment. Or content, sorry. Do I have to copy Google Slides I made into assignment? You want them to be able to submit. Okay, Margaret, so if you want them to be able to submit, that's a great question, and I will look at answering that in my course. Now for this one, I'm gonna go to a clean template. I'm just gonna pretend that I have edited this land. But then what I would actually want to do, if you want them to submit something to you, I'll just copy all of it for now. The templates were built so that you can transfer them into any item that you want. So if I want them to submit it as an assignment, then I would select an assignment. And some of the 4th through 6th already have built-in assignments. I'll go to those next. All I did was copy and paste it, and then I'll just call it, I would name these by like what it is. So I would probably name it by the essential question or the unit name, but name of assignment. want to do this, I would probably name it by the unit, 1, 1. And then I would put due or complete by date. So now I've got that item. If you want to make them make it so they're turning something in, I recommend you give them a due date. You will have to select a category. If you select ungraded, it won't report to PowerSchool, but you can still grade it in Schoology, or you have to set up your grading. And now that is an assignment instead of just a page. All of my examples so far have been in the first grade area, and I had planned to jump into a fourth grade lesson. I would like to do that, but I want to make sure there aren't additional questions on editing. So we looked at adding a link to Google Slides. We looked at adding, just attaching a PowerPoint set of slides. We looked at adding your own video right in Schoology. Christine, were there additional questions?
Looking, and it says Margaret, I'm sorry, wants to know, will it then show up on Google Drive, or where does it show up on Schoology?
Yeah, so if you're using those slides, our 2nd through 12th grade students, if we are just signing into Google, it will work. The slides are automatically shared with anybody at Cincinnati Public Schools can view, I believe. But I did show you earlier that we need to make sure we set our link to anyone with the link can view. If you want them to be able to view it, you also don't want parents to get private access. So if you're sharing the link from Google, I would share the link with anyone can view, and then they can view it. If you want to assign those, we can look at that in like a 4th grade example next. All right, I'm pausing for questions rather than moving on through the agenda. Don't want my screen in my face. This is new. Show us how to do the video
I'll do a video again, yeah.
I'm more than happy to do that. Yep, thanks, Christine.
Okay.
So I made this folder. It has my items in here. I can just on a page. This is true on a assignment, a test quiz, on a page. All the items have this microphone built right in. So you can just add your recording right here. So I'll click on that small microphone, audio and video, and then I can start my recording, and I can share my personal introduction, hold up the book, read to them, etc. I would keep these short, only a couple minutes long, and insert them. If you want to do longer videos, I recommend you use WeVideo or YouTube to record. That video recording is sitting there. I hit Save Changes. And now there is a video on that page. It'll look like this on this page. Or if you want to embed it, we can get into that. I did not get to embedded content from YouTube because we had a lot of questions about Schoology. Okay, Terry's question. When you assign Google Slide, does each student get their own copy? Yes, you do. I'd really like to move into looking at a 4th grade example. Another one, I was asked to slow down for questions. So I would like to be able to show you slides and assigning that. Just want to know what we need to move on to. Let me go into this. All right, let's look at the 4th grade template. Add materials, import from resources, group, Cincinnati Public Schools, and our course template library. Now you'll notice the grade 4 to 6 has assignments already built in and some discussions. There is more in there. Primary was built out with pages only, so teachers would have choice about how they copy those over. You can do everything from a page, or you can put in an assignment. You also have choice here. I don't want to steer you wrong. If you don't want to do this practice, that is a complimentary document. So learn example 1, and then there is a practice for example 1. So I'm going to just pull in this one document. Import. Okay. This is a practice Google lesson, complete and submit. And there are instructions to the teacher about, now this is specific for, this is a specific example from a lesson. You would delete all of this after you're done editing. But if you wanted this to be a Google assignment, then this is a Google Doc sample that's given. And then you can assign this. So I'm going to just make a copy of the sample. And again, this is assuming that you do have that file that you want to assign. I will just put it in there, annotate and analyze, copy.
Make sure you mute your mic. I think somebody's unmuted. It says, I don't want to pronounce the name wrong.
Okay. So if we are going to now assign this with a Google Drive assignment, like let's say those slides, I want that slide to give everybody a copy of the slide deck with their name on it. Or if it's that document, I want them to all have a copy of that document. I need to start editing this assignment or copy it into a new assignment. And then do you see this button here, Google Drive Assignments? That's how I can add that Google Doc or the slide deck. I'll just put in the name of the document from the example. Here it is. So I'm in my Google Drive. I'm in my Wit and Wisdom lesson that I want to use to assign to everybody. I hit attach. And then you'll actually see that it's saying this will create a copy of your file for each student. I recommend you add a due date anytime you do use assignments. Again, if you leave it on ungraded, it won't sync to the PowerSchool gradebook. That's not even a topic we had covered today. If you are wanting to assign those and you don't know how during office hours, that would be a great time to follow up. But I would either pick a category. I'm going to pick remote learning. And then I'm going to hit Save Changes. Now I can also give it a point value. There are other things you can do. You can use a rubric, but I'm just going to give it 10 points and hit Save.
Rosemary, you got a lot of questions.
All right.
If we create an assignment, do we see kids' answers individually?
Let me share that. Well, that's not good. All right, you can see that I've got this item assignment made. When my students submit, I get a list of their submissions right here off to the side. So it's a practice course, so they're not there. But when they hit submit, they're sitting there, and I can even sort them out by who turned it in on time, late, or if it needs grading. They are all sitting right there on the teacher view. So that's this submission. The Google Drive assignment shows differently. I'm going to show that one too. It didn't attach. One moment. I'm just going to attach anything. All right, the Google Drive assignment does open up in a different view, but you can see your submissions on this tab, and you can see who's working in the document on this tab. If they haven't opened it yet, you get a notice that they haven't opened it. When they submit it, it's right here. You can filter by which ones are graded or needs grading, if they're late or on time. So that was our Schoology assignment or using a Schoology Google Drive assignment. Those are the two assignments we just looked at. I hate that my screen is here.
Mary, you got questions?
Yep.
Somebody wants to know, if we do a Google Doc for an assignment and they hit submit, will it be on Google or Schoology?
So if you do a Google Drive assignment, they access everything through Schoology, their document, they access their document in Schoology, but it is an item that is created and lives in your Google Drive. You do not need to give them any instructions to go to Google to get to that document. They can access it through Schoology, but it also lives in their Google Drive in Shared with Me. It's creating a shared copy in their Google Drive.
So Amir wants to know, do we grade the assignment on Schoology and then the grade will be transferred to the PowerSchool gradebook?
Yeah, you would have to set up your gradebook for syncing. Let me give you the all-in-one guide. Right here in the Schoology all-in-one guide, if you want to set up your gradebook to sync, actually last spring, the first prompt, people did not want it to sync, so we gave those instructions. But the second link says Schoology Gradebook, and then so syncing it to PowerSchool. There are step-by-step guides. I could also show that, but that's getting way off our agenda. And with us only having 13 more minutes of this hour, I want to make sure I answer questions about what was on our agenda first. Let me close out some of these unnecessary tabs. All right.
You got another question.
Yep. Thanks, Christine.
When we edit a lesson in Schoology, can we share what we did with other teachers on our team?
When you edit a lesson in Schoology. So, oh yes, once you've edited it, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, that was part of what why we want to share in our group. Yes, you can. I do have a 5-minute video on my channel on how to share, but essentially all you would need to do in your course, like let's say you finished editing all of this content and you're getting started and you want to make sure you share that with your team, you will just save it to your resources and have a shared collection with your team on that. Setting that up would take a little bit of time, but yes, you can. There's no need to reinvent the wheel at all. If one of you is working on different parts of it, you could put that in a shared collection that you can all pull from. And if you have items that you create that you want to share out to our ELA headquarters, you can do that as well. There'll be instructions for that in the discussion at the end of the day.
Somebody wants to know, if you edit the master copy, does it change for the student copies?
Once the student opens it, no, but until the student opens it, yes. So, so when we're not sharing one document, we are sharing a template. It puts a copy in all the students' drive. Once they open it, they have that copy, and you would monitor that through your in progress tab on that assignment. So let me go to the Schoology Google Drive assignment. You would monitor that in your in progress tab. So once the students start working, changes aren't going to occur. Now, because they haven't accessed it yet, yes, changes can occur. So if you edit your template here before you've assigned it, then it will update live in their drive. What I would recommend you do is, if you're not quite done with your template, you wouldn't add it yet, or just keep this unpublished until you know your template is done. I'm scrolling back to questions. We did not get to embedding videos from YouTube.
Tamara asked, do we need to save our edited templates to resources each time so that we can use them in future years?
Nope. You can actually, anything you're doing in your course, you can just, you can access from your archived courses next year. If you had work in there last year, you can just go into courses, my courses and archived to get to those. So no, you don't have to back it up to resources, but resources is a great place to build if you're going to copy it out to multiple sections, or if you want to share it with the members of your team. But no, you do not have to do it in resources. You can always just go into archived to access last year's content. And that was in my courses, archived. It will automatically archive for you at the end of the school year. All right, some things that we skipped. We did not embed Google Slides, Docs, and Forms. And the reason we did not embed them is because I was having an error. It's not working right now. Our Learning Technologies team in Schoology is aware, but we did not get to embed. We did link to our Google content and we added it as a Google Drive assignment. We did not embed media. So I'm just going to go by popular demand at this point. I already told you we were skipping the whole last part of this. So I just need to know, do we want to look at embedding a YouTube video? Sort of choose what you'd like me to show at this point. Embedding a YouTube video. Thank you, Julie. All right. So on my Schoology page, you saw in the launch that there is a placeholder video. It is embedded. I'm going to show you how to do that. You will need to edit your page. And let me show that again. So on the page that you pull in, click on the gear and select edit. If it takes a moment to load, either just be patient or sometimes you can wake it up here. But I'm in the edit view. I want to get rid of this sample that they put in the template as a placeholder. I'm going to delete that and I want to embed my own video. It could be a video that I created and uploaded to YouTube, or it could just be a great video that that I follow that teacher or whatever the video is. So I'm going to just go to a video. I'm going to just pull one of mine. It's faster. And what you need to do to embed a YouTube video, okay, find your video, and then on the screen, on the video, you will see that there is the option to share it at the bottom. So again, right here, share. And see this code embed? It's your first option. It gives you an embed code. I can click on copy. I'm going to show this twice. So I've copied this embed code. It's copied to my clipboard. Now in Schoology, where I deleted that video, I'm going to that little icon, insert content. Do you see the first option is called image media? Now, it's not on my computer, it's on the web. It is not a picture, it's a video, media. And you'll notice that when you select media, this link changes to link embed. I'm just going to paste that code I copied and hit insert media. And then you'll notice you get that yellow placeholder for that video. You can drag it and make it larger or smaller. But when I hit save changes, now instead of that template video, I've got my video embedded. This is probably my favorite feature in building in Schoology because I like to embed my content so that when students open it, they can see it right there. This, I think, is preferable to building on the school or recording on the Schoology screen. But if you just don't have the time or don't quite know yet how to create your own video, you could do it in Schoology. You can create your own videos in YouTube as well, or use WeVideo. But again, I'm going to go through those instructions one more time.
You have a question, Rosemary.
Okay. So I was asked for everything I show to show it twice, but I can go to the other question if we like. I'll skip going over that twice. Christine, what's the other question?
If I create a Google slide and insert text boxes for students to respond in, when they open it in Schoology, will they be able to fill in the text boxes?
If you insert a Google slide and insert text boxes for them to type in, you would need to assign that as a Google Drive assignment so they get their own copy so they can type in it. Otherwise, they're just going to be viewing your copy, like in this example. And actually, let me open that new tab. They are just going to be viewing your copy. I think I accidentally linked this to the wrong place, but if they've got this, they're just viewing your copy. You have to assign that with a Google Drive assignment. And that was the one that I just showed you a little while ago, this one, a Google Drive assignment. So then they would have their own copy that they can type in. Yes. I do have office hours dedicated to specific questions. I do want to let you know that if you are teaching second grade and up and you want them to have their own copy of Google Drive assignments, that is a pretty easy tool to use. And your 4th through 6th grade templates already have those built in. You can access copies of that. We didn't go into the model lessons. We looked at the templates. I would just be completely remiss if I didn't look at least one of the model lessons. So I'm going to go in there now. Oh, I went to 7th grade, sorry. I'll pull the 4th grade. So this is the model lesson that is done of a great heart. How does someone show a great heart figuratively? And we've got the lesson 1 and 2 loaded for you now. You can see it's got placeholders for assignments, assessments, assignments, and discussions. You can pull all or some of that content over, and then you would edit that content. So this is the model lesson with, this is not for you to fill out. This would be that you would edit and change what you want to in it. But these are done for you. So there's a note to the teacher, like in the example Flipgrid, you would have to set that up first. What is WeVideo? I can show that. So when I referenced that, I was talking about you can create your own videos. You can do it right in Schoology like I showed you. You can use videos on YouTube like I showed you. Or if you want to get into creating your own videos on YouTube or WeVideo or Screencastify, there's all sorts of ways to create your own videos. And that's what I was referring to with WeVideo. It is in Clever. Under login with Google, but it is a video creating tool. I would probably start with a simpler tool like Screencastify. Those would be great questions for office hours. Okay, for your questions about your sick leave and FMLA, you would definitely need to address that question to your principal. April, if you can answer the question about the books, I can't answer that question. It says books are listed on a checklist for them.
We're gonna send home.
April, I couldn't quite understand you when you said you're going to send home what? Okay, looks like I've lost April, but I'm looking at this one. This is what I was wondering. Rosemary said to use YouTube or what recording to embed into our courses. So you can use the short videos I make, I do use Screencastify. The longer videos I make, I do use WeVideo. Or you can go in and pull ready-made videos. There are so many videos on YouTube from other teachers that have created, so you can use those as well. This session today did not include showing you how to make videos outside of Schoology, just for time. I can absolutely show you how to do any of those video creation methods, but not during this hour. Actually, our hour is up. All right, it looks like there were a lot of questions that weren't able to be answered. The good news is the chat, I'm going to be able to, I get a download of our full chat when it's recorded. I also like to back up and capture it. What I'm doing, I'm just copying and I'm going to paste it into a Google document as well. So you can do that as well, but I'll go back through here. I'll share this with our manager and we'll look for questions that weren't addressed. There were specific questions about technology like creation of videos or using Google Drive. We have lots of other PD sessions that we've offered on those. Today, our focus was on using Wit and Wisdom in Schoology. And so the focus was on the Schoology tools built in. We looked at templates. We only got to touch into the model lessons, but really for your module 0 and what you're going to be working on today, you needed those templates. So moving into the next part of the day, it is lunchtime for you. And so I don't want to hold you. Just want to let you know your self-paced work time. You are either prompted to use the Wit and Wisdom template, and I did link directly to that for you. To pull that in and begin making your module 0 outline, that's the other option. Or you can just create it. I'm sorry, the first option was to create a course introduction. So it doesn't have to be about Wit and Wisdom. It could just be that you pull in a welcome and you customize it with your own video or maybe pictures of you and your family or whatever you want to introduce your students to. If you already made that somewhere else, you could just add that to your Schoology course. Or working on adding your module 0 content. We looked at April's example of linking those slides. We were not able to embed it because of Schoology's error with that today. So sorry about that. Or you can look at using the Wit and Wisdom model lesson framework and begin with Unit 1, Lesson 1, and practice editing. So go to that gear and practice editing that lesson. At 1 o'clock, I will be back for office hours. The same link, you'll just come right back here. And then you'll have another time where you can, if you've worked on this or you're already set with what you're going to have in your Schoology courses on Monday, there are additional things you can do. Now you'll notice it just says you can continue working from what you were doing this morning. It might be helpful to attend office hours to get some questions answered. Or you can try something new, and I've got just 3 suggestions. If you haven't achieved your Stage 1 Distinguished Educator, that link is there. Or if you want to make your updates a little flashier that pop with images, that is there. Or I know a lot of people, I get the request all the time, the Bitmoji is a classroom banner, so I added that as well. But you select one of these items. I will check back in at office hours with additional links. So you can hop right back in this meeting link at 1 o'clock. And then at 3, just make sure you check in to ELA headquarters group to complete your exit ticket for the day. So you're just going to be going to the group. You will have a prompt here, but you're going to click on discussions and your exit ticket will be right here. So that's on your agenda. The time, the activity, the location. All right. So we definitely over-planned an agenda with lots more information than we can fit into one session. But I do want to let you know we're here for you to support you. The office hours I have today are going to be to answer specific questions. We're just going to take them in the order that they arrive. If we end up with hundreds of people in the office hours, it will run similarly. But just want to make sure you're aware that you have that additional support. And so that's a wrap to session 2 for this morning. Stopping the recording.